What is happening, Magnus? Let's get it on. Is Tony Stark the secret villain? Oh.
What's going on, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. And right now, one of the most exciting things happening in the MCU is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and the Illuminati. Patrick Stewart's Professor Xavier was teased in Multiverse of Madness, the official trailer for it, and the Illuminati as well. And this opens up everything. Endless possibilities. This brings the X-Men into the MCU. It could bring the Fantastic Four in, and we have a good idea of who the Illuminati will be, and we know that Superior Iron Man is going to be one of those members. Now, I realize by now that this person who is glowing probably isn't Superior Iron Man, but is most likely either Captain Marvel, who is actually Maria Rambeau, or is maybe a variant of Kang the Conqueror, maybe even Iron Lad. But either way, we do know that Superior Iron Man is going to be in the movie because of the Ultron bots that are escorting Doctor Strange to the Illuminati. Okay. And this is actually pretty crazy if you think about this. This means that a variant of Iron Man succeeded in a different universe at putting a suit of armor around the world, and is now part of the Illuminati since they are using his Ultron bots. And now, instead of having the bots around the world, he has them around the multiverse. But who exactly is Superior Iron Man? Well, I actually believe that he could be one of the villains of Multiverse of Madness, and I believe that he is going to fight Wanda. Or I guess I should say, the Scarlet Witch. So, let's talk about what happened in his universe before that made this variant of Iron Man become somewhat evil and become Superior Iron Man. And of course, if you're new, be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, I've never heard of
that
the
notification
Superior
bell so you don't miss
Iron
out
Man. I've
on
heard
any of the
Superior
latest videos.
Spider-Man.
Now, the first thing you should know about Superior Iron Man is that he is truly an evil Iron Man. Now, it's not 100% his fault. These events took place during the Axis event, in which the morality of Earth's heroes and villains were reversed. This was done by magic, and eventually the spell was reversed again, but Tony Stark was shielded from this, so he remained evil. From here, of course, a lot of heroes opposed him, and one of those biggest ones was Pepper Potts. But unfortunately, nobody could really stop him. He grew into a huge, egotistical monster. He took over huge companies by force, and basically brainwashed the entire population and turned them into drug addicts. He created an app that everybody had on their phone that they would get addicted to, and then would have to pay $100 a day to upgrade. Then he used his bots to essentially enforce whatever he wanted to enforce. So essentially he became a tyrant and took over everything. Now, of course, in the MCU, we have to talk about what all the fans have been talking about recently. Tom Cruise playing Superior Iron Man.
That's a
now,
funny
definitely
Photoshop.
here for this, although it is just a rumor right now, and it's basically what fans want, but for a very good reason.
Hilarious.
Marvel originally wanted Tom Cruise to play Iron Man before Robert Downey Jr. However, Tom Cruise turned down the role, believing that the role wouldn't work. Marvel was interested in Robert Downey Jr., but he was in a lot of trouble at the time. But luckily for us, Tom Cruise turned it down, and Marvel knew what they were doing, and Robert Downey Jr. became the perfect Iron Man. But in a world, our world, if the multiverse was real, technically there would be another universe where Tom Cruise did indeed accept that part and became Iron Man. And that's essentially what we want to see in the Multiverse of Madness. A variant of Tony Stark, who is actually played by Tom Cruise, who is Superior Iron Man. But what would his story be? What would have happened in that other universe for him to become Superior Iron Man? And I will talk about his suit because this is important for some things that we've seen in the trailer, but first let's go over the story. Like I mentioned, this is somewhat more of an evil Iron Man, so how would that happen? How would Tony Stark kind of go down this evil path? Well, I personally think that things would have kind of gone down a similar trajectory that happened with our Iron Man until one big thing happened. Pepper died. I think in this other universe, Pepper died. This is the key to Tony Stark turning evil. She was killed, maybe by somebody like Loki. Or maybe she was actually killed in Iron Man 3 instead of getting the Extremis. But this is extremely important because Pepper is the one who kept Tony grounded. And she loved him the most. And she was the reason he kind of stayed down to earth. And he was already pretty egotistical to begin with, but she kind of brought him back down and made him realize that other things were more important in life. So he loses her, and he loses control, and he becomes determined to kill any threat at any cost and take full control over Earth's safety. This is where he succeeds in putting a suit of armor around the world, because now he is more determined. Now logic won't really work for him. Now he's not really going to listen to what anybody else has to tell him, because he doesn't care. All he cares about is that he could have saved her. If he had put a suit of armor around the world, he could have saved Pepper. So he's taking it into his own hands now. So he puts a suit of armor around the world, and this leads to him obtaining Infinity Stones. Now here's where the suit of armor comes into play. The superior Iron Man suit is the Endo-Sim armor, and it's a fully liquid smart metal. This suit is basically a symbiote, like Venom. It's entirely liquid, and once it gets to the human body, it hardens. Not only that, but it has a psionic connection to Tony Stark. He can feel the suit and control it with his mind. He can literally make a armor bot out of it without even touching it. And there's no technology involved in controlling it. He simply feels it. So it's pretty much a symbiote, except it is not alive on its own. It is only connected to Tony. But this armor would allow Tony Stark to actually wield Infinity Stones and use them as weapons, which is what I believe will happen. Tony starts getting Infinity Stones from some of these villains on Earth. He gets the Mind Stone from the Scepter. He eventually goes on to get the Space Stone from the Tesseract, or from Thanos when he comes to Earth. Because the events of the first Avengers film most likely did still happen, Thanos is still coming to Earth, but Tony is going to defeat him in an instant. This would also give him the Power Stone. Thanos is strong, but with an Iron Legion of bots and a liquid Endo-Sim suit, Tony Stark and his Legion beats Thanos. So now Tony has an Iron Legion of bots around the world, and he has 3 Infinity Stones. This is where the Illuminati comes in. Now, there are 2 different things that could happen.
I thought there was only
either the Illuminati finds
one
him,
situation
wants
where they
him
won
to be a part of the Illuminati, or he creates the Illuminati himself. The Illuminati would want Superior Iron Man because he's rich, he has Infinity Stones, and he has the Ultron bots that could help surveil the multiverse. So he's a very powerful person at this point, and it would make sense that they would want him to join. Especially if they feared that he might actually be evil, it's better to have him on their team than to actually be evil. But perhaps this could be actually more personal for Superior Iron Man. Perhaps this is part of his multiversal domination. Maybe Superior Iron Man formed the Illuminati. Maybe he did this so he could not only control the world, but control the entire multiverse. Total domination, total control. His bots across not just Earth, but multiple Earths, multiple different universes. Superior Iron Man has a god complex. In fact, one of his most famous lines is, "I'm the most intelligent, capable person on the planet. I'm not playing God. All this time, I've been playing human."
Oh, shit.
Basically saying that he's a god, he's just been playing a human. And what better way to feel like a god than to control the entire multiverse? So I think he has major ulterior motives here on the Illuminati. And I think this is why a fight breaks out between the Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and the Illuminati, because he's going to be somewhat hostile. Now, the Scarlet Witch is going to be as well, which is why the 2 of them will most likely fight. And as I mentioned in my video yesterday, I think he's going to lose. I think the Scarlet Witch is going to kill all of them, if not every one of them, but Mordo. So I think he's secretly a villain, but unfortunately I don't think he's going to have that much time to shine because the Scarlet Witch is going to kill him. But let me know what you think about this theory in the comments down below.
Okay.
Let me know if you
Really
think that
interesting.
this is what Superior Iron Man's life could have been like in his universe, and this could somewhat be his origin story. I truly hope we see something like this in the Multiverse of Madness, get a little bit of a backstory about some members of the Illuminati, but we'll see. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe for more videos, don't forget to like the video, and for live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what you said about in their universe or whatever, their reality, because that starts to separate things. I forgot what you said, but so in there he may have beaten Thanos and became more and more powerful or whatever, but I can't remember what Doctor Strange said. I think he said, did he say scenarios? Did he examine 2.5 million, whatever it was, scenarios? Or was it realities or possibilities? I can't remember, because that does make a difference. Versus, because one universe could have a bunch of different scenarios versus another. I'm going to have to go back and see what Doctor Strange said there when he said they only had one. That's interesting, though. I like the idea, though. I like that idea. Post comments down below. Let me know what you think, though. If you enjoyed my reaction, of course, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!